Being injured on the job, I have to stay home Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. But I can go around the block. I can go get some air. I try and do some walking meditation. Breathe in. The thoughts that you think are going to stay forever, breathe out. They have to leave. The energy has to come out the same way it came in. Right? You can't hold on to things. I forgot that during the pandemic. I saw more people die during the pandemic than probably the last 10 years of my career. On a regular 911 week, maybe if you're in a busy area, you do 2, maybe 3 cardiac arrests. My busiest tour, I did 13 cardiac arrests in 16 hours. That's a lot of death. It's hard because it was so in the moment. There's no way to cope. You don't get a break. To be a paramedic, you have to have a lot of empathy and hope and a short-term memory. And with this, the empathy and hope was gone and the memory became long. I get to be part of the healing in the beginning for something that we couldn't save. But because of the pandemic, there's none of that. You're over there. I have to stay 6 feet away from you. And that grief transfer, when that doesn't happen, doesn't allow me to activate the short-term memory that I need to survive in this job. So I'm a practicing Buddhist, right? And the Buddha says, make sure you're not sitting in the extremes for too long. I have a meditation corner in my bedroom where I sit and I practice my breathing. I practice some of my mantras. I also sit and just try and empty my thoughts. So you try your best to center yourself. I've been home now 3 weeks. It's a blessing. I have to heal from my heart. I have to heal from my brain. I have to physically heal my arm. Do things that are going to be nurturing towards me. During the height of the pandemic and some of the aftermath, I wasn't treating myself. I became very depressed. I was maybe getting 3 or 4 hours of sleep a night. The counseling service unit that the fire department provides is inadequate to begin with. They were never set up to handle this many people looking for their services. So what we started to do with the union was try and find outside agencies independent of the fire department to provide mental help services for our members. And we found 2. And I started to go to one. And I went to the Trauma Recovery Network. And what they do is something called EMDR therapy.
EMDR stands for eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. It's a way of working with the traumatic memories that are not stored properly. So what EMDR therapy does is it helps people identify what are the key things that happen to them that are the most disturbing, and then setting up to explore the thoughts, the feelings, the way this is held in the body, because trauma lives in the nervous system. And then we do processing, and it can be following fingers with your eyes so that your eyes are going back and forth, or it can be tapping back and forth, or from one leg to the next. Through the bilateral processing, the right and the left hemisphere of the brain start communicating better and settling down. And then people are without symptoms that they came in with. They're able to sleep better. They're able to think better.
That's helped me a lot. And it kind of put me back on track so that I get back into my meditation, trying to be in my body, trying to stay centered, not live in the extremes.
All first responders are at greater risk for psychological stress, mostly because this pandemic has hit so many people. There's not very many people who don't know someone who's been affected, especially in New York City. We got hard hit first, did a really good job of containing what was happening, but things are increasing again. And so the more traumatic experiences people have, the higher the risk is that they're going to have some difficulties, some challenges, and there's also a risk of suicide.
What does that mean if I kill myself? These are things I've thought about. You see so much suffering in this job. And then you see so much suffering in the world. Sometimes it gets, yeah. So the 4 members that we've had to commit suicide, obviously, it's not the only thing, the pandemic, that made them commit suicide, but that was the tipping point, most likely. If it's not the death they're seeing, it's because they don't have access to their family anymore, or the friends, or what have you. So for me, I'm fortunate in that I have support structures that when I have those thoughts, I'm able to reach out and access help.